Okay, I'm going to be working through this 2.4 circles homework. And so the first question is asking us to find the center and radius of the circle and then to write the standard form of the equation. So they give us a picture here, and we can tell from here that the center is 3, 2. So I know that HK, I'm sorry, is -3, -2. And then the radius is a little bit more tricky. It's not too bad, but we just need to figure out the distance from the center to any point on the circle. And since they give us this point 0, -2, we really just need to figure out that distance. And so we just look at the x-coordinate. The x-coordinate here is -3, and the x-coordinate there is 0, which means that there's 3 units. We have to move 3 units over to the right in order to get to that point, which means our radius must be 3. And then with that, we can write the standard form, which would be x minus h, which is -3 squared, plus y minus, and then -2, and then that squared, and then equals the radius, which is 3 squared. Oh, I forgot a parenthesis there. And so this becomes x plus 3 because the double negative, and this becomes y plus 2 because of the double negative, and then this becomes 9. So let me go ahead and put that in here. So the center of the circle is -3, -2. Okay, the next thing is the radius is 3. And finally, they want the standard form. So the way I'm going to write this, I'm going to go parentheses, x plus 3 squared plus parentheses y plus 2. And then all I'm doing here is using the little up arrow, which is above the 6 on the keyboard, up squared, and it equals 9. All right, next question. So find the center and the radius of this one. All right, kind of hard to, well, I guess we can do. So what we notice here is that these 2 points that lie on the edge of the circle, if you draw a line straight through them, since they both have the same y coordinate of 7, that means that the y coordinate of that center, or in other words, the k, is also 7. Now we need to figure out the total. Let's figure out the total distance from here, from that edge to that edge. And you can look at the x coordinate here is 1, the x coordinate here is 12. That means we have to move 11 units to get all the way across. The radius will be half of that. So the radius should just be 11 divided by 2. All right, now the tricky part. We want to know what the h is, right? Like, what's this h? So we need to figure out how far you go from the origin to here to get to that point. We already know that to get to this black point, well, this point I'm highlighting here, to get to that point, we have to move to the right 1. And then from that point, we could move over the same distance as the radius, which is 11 over 2. And that would take us to that x value. So if I take the 1 and I add 11 over 2, that's common denominator would be 2 over 2 plus 11 over 2. This will be 13 over 2. That should be the x coordinate, or in other words, the h here, 13 over 2. Okay, so, okay, I'll write the standard form. So this should be x minus 13 over 2 squared plus y minus 7 squared equals the radius squared, so 121 over 4. All right, the center of the circle is 13 divided by 2, comma, 7. And the radius of the circle is 11 over 2. And the standard form is going to be x minus 13 over 2, that squared. Ooh, no, that didn't work. Move over. That squared plus y minus 7, that squared equals 121 divided by 4. All right. Next question, clear this out. Okay, write the standard form of the equation and the general form of the equation with this given radius and center. So let me do this. First thing, I'm going to write it in the standard form, which is just x minus -6 is +6 squared plus y minus -8 is +8 squared must equal the radius, which is 10 squared, which is 100. So that's our standard form. Now, to get the general form, what I have to do is I have to expand everything out. In other words, I have to do x plus 6 times itself, and then I have to do the y plus 8, square that, so multiply times itself, and then equals 100. So if I FOIL this, I get x squared plus 6x plus another 6x, that's 12x. And then 6 times 6 is 36. If I do the same thing for the y's, I'll get y squared plus I'll have 2 8s, so that's 16y. And then 8 times 8 is 64 equals 100. And now I'm just going to write things in the form they like. So I'm going to put the x squared and y squared next to one another. I have the 12x. I have the 16y. And then I'm going to put these two together. So 36 and 64 is 90. That's 100, right? So let me just double check it. 90, that's 100. But then I'm going to subtract 100 on both sides. So if I do that, it goes away. So I just get equals 0. Okay. So let me go ahead and put these answers in. So first, the standard form, which is going to be x plus 6 squared plus y plus 8 squared equals 100. And then the general form, get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. So the general form is going to be what I had written down there. So x squared plus y squared plus 12x plus 16y equals 0. All right, now we have to graph the circle. So what I'm going to do is, let me see, circle. So first thing I'm doing, I'm going to put I click on this little circle thing. I'm going to click on the center, which is at -6, +8. And then the radius is going to be, what was the radius? 10. So remember, each one of these clicks is 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 right there. Let's try that. Oh, wait, hold on. -6. What did I do? It's -6. -8. Oops, I moved the center of my circle wrong. Oops, I did -6, +8. So clear it. I have to clear it. All right, I'm going to clear it. Sorry about that. So -6, -8, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yay, okay, made a mistake. All right, there we go. Next question. For this equation, do the following. Find the center and the radius, graph it, and find the intercept. So we need to realize it's written in general form right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and get it in standard form. So I'm going to rearrange things, put my x's together, put my y's together, and I'll go ahead and add 4 to both sides. Okay, now I have to complete the square. So on this first one, I'll do it on the side, x squared minus 2x. I take the number in front of x, which is -2, divide it by 2, that gives me -1. It's my first important number. Now I square that. That gives me 1. It's my other important number. So I know that I can rewrite this as x squared minus 2x, then I do +1 minus 1. The first 3 terms are going to be x minus 1 squared, and then I still have -1. So that's what this becomes, x minus 1 squared minus 1. Then I do the same thing for the y squared part. So y squared minus 4y. I take -4 divided by 2, we get -2. And then I take that number and square it, I get 4. So I'm going to do this, +4 minus 4. The first 3 terms will be y minus 2 squared, and then -4. So this becomes plus y minus 2 squared minus 4 equals 4. I can put the -1 together with the -4 to give me -5, and then I add 5 to both sides. And that'll give me a 9 on the right. It'll give me x minus 1 squared here, and then y minus 2 squared. So the center of this is 1, 2, and the radius is 3. All right, so here we go. Center is 1, 2. The radius is 3. And then the graph, so the center was 1, 2. So I'm going to go to the right one up 2. And then go out, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There we go, that should be it. Hope I'm not working too fast here. That's it. Okay, so now I need to find the intercepts. So let me clear this out. So to find the intercepts, all we have, there's 2 types of intercepts we're looking for. We're looking for anywhere the graph hits the x-axis, those are x-intercepts. And then we're also looking for anywhere where the graph hits the y-axis. Let me do a different color here. Where we hit the y-axis, which would be here. So let's do the x-axis first. So to find the x-intercepts, what we do is we set y equal to 0 in the equation and solve for x. So I'm going to take, let's take the standard form, x minus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 9. That was the standard form. I want to set y to 0. So if I do that, I get x minus 1 squared plus, now if you replace this y with 0, you're going to get -2 squared equals 9. So then you have x minus 1 squared, -2 squared is 4, equals 9. And now I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. That gives me 5. So I'm trying to solve for x here. Now what I'm doing is take the square root on both sides. And remember that anytime you take the square root on both sides, you have to do plus or minus. So on the left side, the square root kills off the squared, so I'm left with x minus 1. On the right side, I'm not going to do a decimal. I'm just going to do plus or minus square root of 5. And then last step to get x, I add 1 to both sides. So I'll get x equals the 1 there, and then plus or minus root 5. Okay, so let's see. Now, you have to remember this point, okay, the coordinates of that point should be, see, the x coordinate would be 1 minus root 5, and then the y coordinate 0. And then this point, the x coordinate is 1 plus root 5, and then 0. So keep in mind here, if you take 1 and you subtract root 5, that's going to give you a negative number, and that's why this one's here. And then 1 plus root 5, that'll be a positive number, and that's why this one's here. So let me go ahead. It says type the ordered pair, use a comma to separate answers as needed, type exact answers. That means they do not want decimals. So I don't know, I'm going to try this for the first time. 1 minus square root of 5, comma 0. That's my first point. Comma, parenthesis, 1 plus, what happens if I write that? No, that doesn't work. Square root of 5, close parentheses. That should do it. Oh, wait, hold on. I only have 2 of the intercepts. Now I have to do them all, so I need 2 more. So let me do this. I'm going to clear this out, and now I'm going to go find the y-intercepts. So for the y-intercepts, we set x equal to 0 and solve. So I'm going to take the standard equation again. Is it 9? I'm going to set x to 0 this time. So that's going to give me -1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 9. When I square -1, I get 1. Now I subtract 1 on both sides, and I get y minus 2 squared equals 8. Now I take the square root on both sides, so it'll kill off the square, and I'll have plus or minus the square root of 8. And the last thing would be to add 2. So 2 plus or minus the square root of 8. All right, so these written as points, okay, you have to be careful here. This one, the x coordinate is 0 because it's a y-intercept, and then it'll be 2 minus root 8 because 2 take away root 8 is going to be a negative number, and it's down, right? The y coordinate is down, so it's, and then the other one is 0 and then 2 plus root 8. Okay, so I need to put those in here. So there we go. All right, so we have 0 comma 2 minus the square root of 8, close parentheses, comma 0 comma 2 plus the square root of 8, and then close the parenthesis. All right, check it. What's going on here? Trying to see if I did something wrong. Oh, here it is. This one I forgot to put, I put the X, but I forgot to put comma 0. See, these are those little things about a computer that drive you crazy. Oh, still messed it up. 0, 2, so this, comma 0, comma plus that. I wonder, do they want? I'm not sure how they want this formatted. Did I do everything right? I should have. This is my first time through this, using this system, so I can't imagine it's probably a headache for you also. Do they want me to simplify the square root of 8 to be 2 root 2? You know what? I'm going to do a final check. So let's see. Yes. Ah, they did. They want, that is ridiculous. Okay. On your test, I don't care if you leave it as square root of 8. What they did here is they did square root of 8 is the same as square root of 4 times 2. And that's the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. And square root of 4 is 2, so 2 root 2. So they're just simplifying this radical. But that's kind of ridiculous because the square root of 8 and 2 root 2 are exactly the same number. So they shouldn't be counting it wrong. I'm not happy about that. Oh well, we move on. In calculus, we wouldn't even require this step, so no big deal. Looks like I'm not going to get 100. Okay, this one is the same thing as the previous one. So let me just see what the next problem is. I may not work that one. Yeah, I would prefer you work this one on your own. Definitely going to be a little different because of the completing of the square. I will say this, just to get you started, 3x squared minus 24x plus 3y squared plus 12y. Move the 15 to the other side. When you do this completing of the square, you have to pull a 3 first. Okay, so you have to pull the 3 out of both of those. And then you're completing the square on this. So you're going to take half of that number and then square it, which gives you 16. And now this is the part that's tricky. You have to make sure that you put that plus 16 minus 16 right here, and then close your parenthesis. I'll go ahead and finish this one. This right here becomes x minus 4 squared minus 16, but that's still in parentheses with the 3. Then the 3 passes through, so you get 3 times this minus 48, like that. You know what? I think I'm going to take this one all the way. Okay, that's that part. At least I'm going to get it in standard form. Let me do the y part, 3y squared. And you know what? I'll go ahead and factor out the 3 now. 3y squared plus 4y. Okay, that's what we'd have. And now 3y squared. I take 4 divided by 2. That's 2. I square that, I get 4. And so I'm going to do plus 4y plus 4 minus 4 right here. And then these 3 together give me y plus 2 squared. Then I still have the minus 4, but then all of that still has a 3 in front. And so now let me rewrite everything. This becomes 3x minus 4 squared minus 48 plus 3 Oh, I didn't distribute here to here, so that would give me 3 y plus 2 squared minus 12 equals 15. So this is not in standard form yet. There's one more thing I need to do. Let's put this and this together. So that's going to give me negative 60, and I add 60 to both sides. So I get negative 60 there, so I add 60 here, add 60 there. So here's what I'll have: 3x minus 4 squared plus 3y plus 2 squared equals 75. So there's one more step that we didn't run across in class, and that is we can't have these 3's out here. But because they both have 3, I can divide everything by 3 on both sides. And they go away, and over here it becomes 25. So we should get x minus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 25. So the center is 4, negative 2, and the radius is 5. Okay, I will let you do the rest. I think the intercepts should be interesting, but that should get you through that problem. All right, next one. All right, find the standard form of the circle with endpoints of the diameter at these points. Okay, so they're telling you that you have a circle, and the first endpoint of the diameter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 6. So right here is one endpoint of the diameter, and the other one is at -1 up 2. So it's like if we draw a circle through here, and it's gonna be kind of hard, but I'm gonna try. Oh, not good. Not good. Okay, they're telling you that these are connecting the diameter, which means that the center of the circle is right there. So let me label these points. This is the point 9, 6, and this is the point -1, 2. So let's figure out what that center point would be. So let me focus just on the x coordinates. I go from -1 all the way to 9. That means the distance from here to here must be 10. So halfway would be 5, right? So what would 5 units from here be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should put me at 4. So that should be 4. And now I look at the y coordinates. I go from 2 up to 6. So I have to go up, what, 2 goes up to 6. That's a jump of 4. So that means the distance from here, up to there, right? That distance right there, that should be 4. And so half of that would be 2. So I've got to jump up 2 here. But I already started 2 units up. So that means that we should be up here at 4. I don't know if that makes any sense, but 4, 4 should be our center. And then the radius, the way you can get the radius, if we know the center, right, this is the center, and we know another point, let's say 9, 6, the radius should be the distance between those 2 points. So the distance will be the square root of the difference of the x coordinates, y coordinates, doesn't matter which one you do first. So I'm going to do this y coordinate minus that y coordinate. So that's going to be 6 minus 4 is 2 squared plus the difference of this one and that one. So 9 minus 4 is 5, and then squared. So we get square root of 4 plus 5 squared is 25. So you get square root of 29. That's the distance, but that's also equal to your radius. So now the standard form. We should have x minus h is 4, because remember the center is 4, 4, squared, plus y minus k, which is 4 again, squared, must equal, be careful here, the radius squared. So this number squared is 29. All right, let's check it. So we're writing the standard form. So x minus 4 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 29. There we go. All right, that'll do it. Hope that helps.